Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare wheat pennies. These classic coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties, their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. On top one today, we're taking a close look at a penny from the past that could have you sitting on a fortune, the 1944 United States 1-cent coin. This little piece of history might just be more valuable than you think. So stick with me until the end as we uncover why this 1944 penny could be worth a shocking amount of money. To fully appreciate the value of the 1944 penny, let's take a step back in time. The year 1944 was a pivotal one in American history. The country was in the midst of World War II, and the effects of the war were being felt across the globe. On the home front, the United States was focused on supporting the war effort, and that included producing currency to support the economy. During this time, the U.S. Mint was producing coins at an astonishing rate to meet the demands of wartime transactions, and the 1944 penny is one of the most interesting and valuable coins from that period. This time, the 1-cent coin featured the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the reverse depicted the iconic wheat stalks, which had been on the penny since 1909. But here's where things get interesting. The 1944 penny was struck in a very unique way. Due to the copper shortage caused by World War II, the U.S. Mint switched the composition of the penny from the usual copper to a steel-based alloy in 1943. However, by 1944, the copper shortage was no longer a problem, and the U.S. Mint returned to using copper for the pennies. But here's the kicker. Some 1944 pennies were accidentally struck using leftover steel planchets that had been used for the 1943 coins, creating a rare and highly valuable error. These 1944 steel pennies, also known as steelies, are incredibly rare, and they are worth far more than a typical 1944 copper penny. In fact, most people who have a 1944 penny assume it's just one of the regular copper coins, not realizing that they could be holding onto a treasure. The steel pennies were a mistake during the minting process, but it's that mistake that makes them so special and valuable. Now, you might be wondering, how can you tell if you've got a steel 1944 penny? The most obvious clue is the color. A typical 1944 penny is copper-colored, but the steel pennies have a dull, grayish appearance. They also feel different. They are much lighter than the copper pennies and have a distinct, almost metallic sound when dropped. But the key factor that truly sets a steel penny apart from the copper ones is its rarity. Only a few thousand steel pennies were made by accident, and because they were mixed into circulation with the copper pennies, most of them were spent, lost, or damaged over time. So, what does all this mean for you, the collector? The steel 1944 penny is one of the most coveted coins for collectors. If you happen to find one in your collection or tucked away in a jar of old coins, you could be holding a piece of history, and an incredibly valuable one at that. The 1944 steel penny is so rare that it's considered a holy grail for many coin collectors, and its value reflects just how much demand there is for it. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much could your 1944 steel penny actually be worth? If you happen to have one in near-perfect condition, it could be worth a staggering $77,000. That's right, $77,000 for a single penny. A small coin, but a massive payoff for anyone lucky enough to find it. Whether you inherited a coin collection, found a few pennies in a change jar, or have an old coin that you've forgotten about, it might just turn out to be a rare steel 1944 penny. The fact that a simple penny from 1944 can be worth such a large sum of money is a testament to the fascinating world of coin collecting. What seems like a simple piece of currency can, under the right conditions, turn into a treasure worth thousands of dollars. If you think you might have a 1944 steel penny, it's definitely worth getting it checked out by a professional coin appraiser. Who knows, you could be looking at a major windfall. I hope this video has opened your eyes to the incredible value of the 1944 penny, and maybe even sparked a little excitement to dig through your own coin collection to see if you have one of these rare gems. Remember, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and you never know when you might uncover a valuable find. On top 2, we're diving into a very special coin that holds a piece of American history, the 1945 United States 1 cent. At first glance, this might seem like just another penny, But hold on to your seats because this little coin might be hiding a massive surprise. If you thought all pennies were created equal, think again. There's more to the 1945 penny than you might imagine, and it could be worth far more than you ever expected. Let's set the stage for 1945. The world was in the final stages of World War II, and the United States was about to experience a major turning point. The war had reshaped global politics, economies, and even the way everyday Americans viewed life. On the home front, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins to support the nation's booming economy. During this time, pennies, along with other coins, were produced in large quantities to meet the needs of a society that was changing rapidly. The 1945 penny, just like its predecessors, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, with the year 1945 clearly inscribed. On the reverse, the design of the Lincoln Memorial was used, a design that became a familiar part of American coinage after its debut in 1959. But here's the interesting part. Although most of these pennies were made from the standard copper, what makes the 1945 penny stand out is tied to its rarity and condition. During the war years, many coins were struck using different metals, such as zinc and steel, to conserve copper for military purposes. However, by 1945, copper was back in circulation for the production of coins, and the 1945 penny is an excellent example of this return to normalcy. While most of these pennies were made and circulated like any other, the real story lies in the unique examples that have survived over time. So, why is the 1945 penny so valuable? The answer lies in the coin's rarity, condition, and a few specific minting errors that make it incredibly desirable to collectors. Although most 1945 pennies were minted in large quantities, very few of them have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Over the years, many of these pennies have been worn down through regular circulation. However, if you happen to come across a 1945 penny that is in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, you may be looking at a rare find. The real treasure comes when you factor in minting errors. Sometimes, coins that were struck during the minting process end up with unique features or flaws, and those coins are worth far more than regular, error-free coins. In the case of the 1945 penny, certain minting errors, like double strikes, misalignments, and even off-center strikes, can dramatically increase the value of the coin. For collectors, these errors are highly sought after because they add a special, one-of-a-kind aspect to a coin's history and design. One of the most exciting and rare versions of the 1945 penny is the famous double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once, leading to a doubled image or lettering on the coin. These double die pennies can be spotted by looking closely at Lincoln's portrait or the inscription around the coin. This small error can make a huge difference in the value of the coin. A 1945 penny with a double die error, especially in good condition, can fetch a much higher price on the collector's market. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. How much could a 1945 penny be worth? If you find a 1945 penny in excellent condition, with no signs of wear or damage, you could be holding onto a rare and valuable piece of American history. If your penny also happens to have a minting error or is in especially pristine condition, then the value soars. A 1945 penny in excellent condition and with the right error can be worth an astonishing $71,000. That's right, $71,000 for a single penny. While it may seem hard to believe that a penny from 1945 could fetch such a high price, it just goes to show how valuable rare coins can be, especially when they have a story to tell. Whether it's due to a minting mistake or simply because it has survived decades in perfect condition, the 1945 penny could be your ticket to an incredible treasure. So, next time you're going through old coins or checking your change, take a second look at those 1945 pennies. It might just be the lucky find you've been waiting for. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, coin collecting is a thrilling hobby that has the potential to uncover hidden gems. And the 1945 penny is one of the best examples of that. On top 3, we have an exciting journey ahead as we explore the fascinating story of a coin that might be tucked away in your collection. The 1949 United States 1 cent. You might have seen it before, thought it was just another penny. But let me tell you, there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. If you think all pennies are created equal, think again. This one could be hiding a fortune. Let's rewind to 1949 for a moment. The United States had just wrapped up World War II a few years earlier, and the country was in the middle of the post-war economic boom. It was a time of growth, hope, and a booming consumer economy. The US Mint was busy producing coins to match the country's growing demands for currency, and the 1949 penny was one of those key coins in circulation. The design on the penny, as always, featured Abraham Lincoln on the front, but the reverse side displayed the familiar wheat stalks, a design that had been gracing the penny since 1909. While the 1949 penny may seem like a typical product of its time, there's one very interesting fact that makes this coin worth a second look. Most 1949 pennies were struck in the usual copper alloy, but over time, many of these pennies have been lost, damaged, or worn down. However, a small number of these pennies have survived in near-perfect condition, and that's where the real value lies. The 1949 penny is especially valuable for collectors because finding one in excellent condition is rare, and that's what makes it so desirable. If you happen to have a 1949 penny that looks like it's just been pulled from the mint, you could be sitting on a significant treasure. As with many coins, the condition plays a huge role in determining its worth. A penny that is well worn from years of circulation won't fetch much, but an uncirculated penny or one with minimal wear could fetch a pretty penny, pun intended. But that's not the only reason the 1949 penny is so special. There's more than meets the eye. Minting errors are a huge factor when it comes to the value of a coin. And in the case of the 1949 penny, there are a few noteworthy errors that can increase its value substantially. One of the most desirable errors for collectors is the double die variety. This occurs when a coin is struck multiple times, causing parts of the design, whether it's Lincoln's portrait, the date, or the words on the coin, to appear doubled. These double die errors are highly coveted by coin collectors because they create a unique, one-of-a-kind piece. If you happen to find a 1949 penny with this error, you could be looking at a much higher value. But that's not all. Another possible error to look for on the 1949 penny is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not aligned correctly during the minting process, resulting in a coin that looks off-kilter. While this error might seem minor, it makes the coin unique and highly sought after. Off-center pennies, particularly from years with historical significance like 1949, are worth much more than a standard, error-free penny. Now, I know you're probably wondering, how much could my 1949 penny be worth if I happen to have one of these errors or one in pristine condition? Well, here's the exciting part. If you have a 1949 penny in uncirculated condition or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth a mind-blowing $67,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $67,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something so small could hold so much value. But that's the magic of coin collecting. The rarity, the condition, and the possible minting errors all play a role in determining just how valuable this coin can be. So, next time you're going through your old pennies, don't overlook that 1949. It could be the hidden gem you've been waiting for. Whether it's tucked away in a jar of change or passed down through generations, that simple penny could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and you never know when you might stumble across something that could change your life. On top 4, we have a truly exciting find for all you collectors and treasure hunters. We're going to explore a penny that might be sitting in your collection right now, the 1953 United States 1 cent. At first glance, this might seem like just another coin from the 1950s, but trust me, there's so much more to this humble penny than you might think. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be looking at your old pennies in a whole new way. Let's take a quick trip back in time to 1953. The United States was in the midst of a post-war economic boom, and life was changing in many exciting ways. The country was moving away from the hardships of World War II, and there was a growing sense of prosperity. Meanwhile, the US Mint was working tirelessly to keep up with the need for currency, and the 1953 penny was no exception. This coin, which featured the iconic Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the familiar wheat stalks on the reverse, was part of a broader effort to supply the nation with the necessary coins for everyday transactions. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1953 penny so special? Well, it's not just any regular coin from the 1950s. While most 1953 pennies were struck with the usual copper alloy, the real value comes from the rarity of finding one in excellent condition. The vast majority of these pennies were circulated for years, showing signs of wear and tear. But here's the catch. Finding a 1953 penny in uncirculated condition is incredibly rare. Many of these coins were spent, lost, or damaged over time. And finding one that has survived in pristine condition can be a game changer for collectors. But that's not all. While most 1953 pennies might appear to be fairly common, there's a fascinating twist to this story. The 1953 penny could have a potential minting error or unique feature that sets it apart. Minting errors are incredibly important to collectors because they create coins that are one of a kind. These errors can range from something as small as a misaligned die to more dramatic mistakes like double strikes or overstrikes. These errors aren't something you'll find every day, and when they do show up, they add a significant premium to the coin's value. Let's talk about one of the most exciting types of errors that could be found on a 1953 penny, the famous double die variety. This occurs when a coin is struck twice, leading to a doubled image or lettering on the coin. For example, you might see the date 1953 or the words Liberty and In God We Trust appear with a slight doubling effect. These double die errors are highly sought after by collectors because they make a coin truly unique. If you happen to find a 1953 penny with a double die error, it could significantly increase its value. Another possible error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the penny is struck improperly, causing the design to be misaligned. Off-center strikes are a bit more common than double die errors, but they're still highly valuable because they create a distinct, rare look for the coin. If you happen to find a 1953 penny with this type of error, you could have a very valuable collectible on your hands. Now, you might be asking, how much could a 1953 penny be worth? Well, it depends on several factors, including its condition and whether or not it has any minting errors. If you happen to have a 1953 penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks almost as if it's just been minted, its value could be much higher than what you might expect. Coins in perfect or near-perfect condition are always more valuable because they are so rare. But if your 1953 penny is one of the lucky few with a minting error, such as a double die or off-center strike, you could be looking at an even bigger payoff. Coins with these errors can see their value skyrocket, and collectors are always on the lookout for these unique finds. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much could a 1953 penny be worth? If you happen to find one in exceptional condition, or if it has a rare minting error, your penny could be worth an astonishing $64,000. Yes, you read that right, $64,000 for a single penny. That's how valuable rare coins can be when they're in the right condition or have a unique characteristic. The next time you're digging through your old coin collection or looking through your spare change, take a closer look at those 1953 pennies. You might just be holding onto a small fortune without even realizing it. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and you never know when you might find that rare gem that changes everything. On Top 5, we're diving into a truly fascinating piece of American numismatic history, the 1957 United States 1 cent. You might be thinking, it's just another penny. But trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick with me to the end, and I'll reveal why this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a staggering amount of money. To understand what makes the 1957 penny so special, we first need to take a look back at the year itself. The United States was in the midst of a post-World War II economic boom, and the country was seeing significant advancements in both industry and technology. The 1950s marked a time of prosperity for many Americans, and the U.S. Mint was working hard to produce coins that kept up with the growing needs of the economy. At the time, the design of the penny still featured Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic wheat stalks on the reverse, a design that had been in circulation since 1909. The 1957 penny is part of the famous wheat series, and while these coins were produced in large numbers, it's important to remember that not all pennies are created equal. Most of the 1957 pennies you'll come across are simply worn-down pieces of currency that have circulated for decades. But here's where things get interesting. A 1957 penny in mint condition is a rare find, and if it's in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, it could fetch a much higher price than you might expect. What really makes the 1957 penny stand out for collectors is its rarity and top-tier condition. Coins that were used in everyday transactions often show signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. However, A penny that has managed to survive for decades without any significant damage is an absolute gem in the world of coin collecting. These pristine examples are far less common than you might think, and that's exactly what makes them so valuable. But that's not the only reason the 1957 penny is worth paying attention to. As with many other coins, minting errors can drastically increase the value of a penny. Errors like double strikes, off-center strikes, or even misaligned dies can make a coin truly unique. In fact, certain errors on the 1957 penny could make it worth far more than just its copper content. For collectors, these mistakes are not just interesting quirks. They're highly desirable and can command premium prices at auctions or from other collectors. One of the most sought-after errors in the world of coin collecting is the double die variety. This happens when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design, whether it's the date, the words, or Lincoln's portrait, to appear doubled. For example, if you closely examine the date 1957 on a penny and see it appear with a faint second image, you could be looking at a double die error. These types of errors are extremely rare and highly valuable. If you happen to find a 1957 penny with this kind of flaw, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be shifted to one side of the coin. Off-center pennies have a distinct look, and while they're not as common as some other errors, they're still highly coveted by collectors. The more extreme the misalignment, the more valuable the penny can be. Now, you might be wondering, how much is a 1957 penny worth, especially if it's in great condition or has a minting error? Well, here's the exciting part. If you have a 1957 penny in uncirculated condition, it could be worth much more than its face value. But if that penny has a rare minting error or is in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a value that will blow your mind. Are you ready for the big reveal? A 1957 penny in excellent condition, or one with a rare minting error, can be worth an astounding $59,000. Yes, you heard that right, $59,000 for a single penny. That's the kind of value a coin can hold when it's in the right condition or has something special about it. It's hard to believe that something as small and seemingly insignificant as a penny can hold such a high value. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Coins tell stories, and their rarity, history, and unique features can make them worth more than you could ever imagine. If you have a 1957 penny lying around in your collection or in a jar of loose change, take a moment to check it carefully. You might just be holding on to a treasure worth thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on any future discoveries. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next coin you find could be worth a fortune. Happy collecting!